Capcom.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at 10 hidden secrets and Easter eggs in Resident Evil games. The mainline games show a ton of love for previous installments, and plenty of references and secrets for fans to discover, adding quite a bit of replay value to the franchise, as well as some occasional comedy. Which Resident Evil Easter egg is your favorite? Did it make the list? Share with us in the comments below.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Growing up is optional. Resident Evil 6. Whether you're in Raccoon City, Western Europe, or Louisiana, Resident Evil is a world filled with viscera and grit. However, the series isn't afraid to get a bit goofy, and how could it not with some of the campy dialogue? One example of this lies within Resident Evil 6. During your various campaigns, you may come across a level that hides a playground. Yes, you can walk around this area, and yes, you can totally ride the panda and go down the slide. Enjoy this brief moment of innocence while the zombie apocalyptic world burns all around you. Dino Crisis in theaters Friday. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. The third mainline Resident Evil game features a wide buffet of references and Easter eggs to not just the series itself, but also other Capcom games. Many of these nods you'll most likely find throughout your time on the surface of Raccoon City. One of these is a movie poster for a certain dinosaur-themed game we've been craving to see come back for some time now. Yep, that would be a Dino Crisis poster in the hospital lobby. And by God, if this isn't a tease for the franchise's comeback, we don't know what else is gonna get us to hype ourselves up again. Come on, Capcom, you gave Mega Man a nod and comeback too. It's time for Dino Crisis now. Zombie friends! Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2.
What are you doing here?
Don't shoot! I'm a human!
Though this isn't a common feature, the first Resident Evil as well as RE2 have one cool detail that can be experienced under specific circumstances. It is possible to encounter zombified versions of Albert Wesker in RE1 and Brad in RE2. In the Sega Saturn version of RE1, all you have to do is access the battle game side mode and get far enough to encounter Zombie Wesker, who takes 4 magnum bullets worth of damage to down. As for Zombie Brad in RE2, get to the RCPD without picking up any weapons or items while under Scenario A on normal difficulty. He also takes quite a bit of damage before dying, but if you manage to beat him, you'll receive a key that unlocks a new costume. Resident Street Fighter, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 7. Yeah, some of the Capcom references can be painfully obvious, but they're still pleasant to spot when playing. Along with Dino Crisis and Mega Man, Street Fighter has made its way into Resident Evil on a couple of occasions. In RE7, you can find a book called Fighting Street in a few different spots. You can also find this same book in RE3 as well. Another cool nod to the fighting franchise is in RE2, while you're running through the city. One of the bigger buildings is named Aruka's, which is a reference to Street Fighter's local butt-kicking schoolgirl, Sakura. Someone's making these. Resident Evil 7. It isn't uncommon for folks to get a tad frustrated with Resident Evil's more obtuse puzzles, and RE7 protagonist Ethan Winters is in that group of people. Sure, finding items and remembering where inaccessible areas are located can be tedious, but item manipulation can be annoying too. Ethan shares the resentment with players while solving one of RE7's shadow puzzles. After solving one of them, he'll ask who is even making these stupid things. Well, one note can be found in the attic that reveals who really is making these, and it's It's the same company behind Spencer Mansion's Secret Corridors. Damn you, Trevor and Chamberlain Construction!
Who builds this shit?
Shut up, he's fishing! Resident Evil 4. Some of the coolest moments in gaming come when players discover ways to off bosses before their initial encounters. This is one of those moments. Just before you venture out into the lake to face the monstrous Del Lago, do yourself a favor and shoot the water a few times. Use whatever you feel like, a magnum, shotgun, pistol even, go right ahead. Ha! I lied! Del Lago jumps from the water and eats you whole. Nah, man, you gotta put on your big boy pants and face this monstrous fish head on. There aren't any shortcuts here. You're Brody, he's Jaws. Come back with the head, tail, the whole damn thing. Merchants Talk. Resident Evil Village.
Welcome.
Speaking of RE4, Village shows the 2005 hit a ton of love through various references and nods. Of them all, there's one that has hit fans the hardest. In a good way, of course. Whenever you're browsing the Duke's wares, he'll make some light commentary on your purchases or say something completely unprovoked. One of these lines is a direct shout out to RE4's shady-looking merchant character.
What are you buying?
It makes you wonder if the Duke and Merchant have some sort of hidden agenda between Resident Evil's heroes and villains. They just seem to appear at incredibly convenient times, and the fact they know each other makes it all seem suspicious.
What are you buying? Just something an old friend of mine used to say.
Film D, aka Rising Rookie, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 2. This is an oldie but a goodie, and Wesker would certainly agree with that sentiment. After all, he's the one in possession of this. In the original RE2, you'll have to search Wesker's desk 50 times to obtain a photo of Rebecca in her basketball uniform. As for the remake, all you have to do is develop the film Hiding Place in order to retrieve a box from Wesker's desk drawer. At first, it's really just a box, but check the drawer again for the photo. So, it appears our edgelord has some splaining to do. A sequel tease? Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Before we cap off the list with our last entry, let's revisit RE3 for one more sneaky reference. Most hardcore RE fans have probably spotted it already, but it's pretty easy to overlook. One modest-looking movie theater advertises a film supposedly called Biohazard 4. This is actually an advertisement in tease for Resident Evil 4, Biohazard being the franchise's name in Japan. Indeed, RE4 was in development when RE3 launched, but the build that was being worked on at this time would become Devil May Cry. RE4 wouldn't launch until 2005, 6 years after this tease was made public.
Well, I really don't give a damn. Rain or shine, you're going down.
A letter from Shinji Mikami, Resident Evil. We had to save the best for last, and it's probably the one secret that's the most difficult to witness. It's no easy task to reach this, as you'll have to beat the game under invisible mode, which makes every enemy in the game, well, invisible. Do this and you'll unlock a heartfelt letter from series creator Shinji Mikami, thanking you for playing the game and congratulating you on your efforts. It's a message that says more than just thanks for playing, and you can really hear the gratitude in his words.
Therefore, on behalf of the entire staff, please allow me to express our gratitude and congratulate you on a job well done. Thank you very much for playing. Shinji Mikami, Dev Team Representative.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.